everyone, welcome back to another Fit Kit lesson. This week we are talking about sleep. A lot of people often forget how important sleep is, not only in helping you feel rested, but in keeping you healthy all over. We can't really have a back and forth like we could at school. Wonder how many of you have a set bedtime. So that means you go to bed at the same time every night. Think about what time your bedtime is. And then think about what time you would usually wake up for school. I know classes at Margaret Chase start at 8 a.m., right? So this means you're probably getting up around 6:30 or maybe 7, depending on how long it takes you to get ready and get to school. So if you went to bed at 8:30 and woke up at 6:30 for school, how many hours is that? That's 10 hours. What do you guys think about that schedule? The amount of sleep you should be getting each night is 9 to 11 hours of sleep. So that 8:30 bedtime is actually perfect if you wake up at 6:30. So what happens when we don't get enough sleep? The very first day I came to after school program, we talked about sleep and you guys had some really good ideas. It helps you feel rested, it helps you with energy, it helps you grow, makes you less cranky. Think about a time when you didn't get enough sleep. Maybe you were trying to get homework done, maybe your house was too loud, or maybe you had a sleepover party and you guys all stayed up too late. When we don't get enough sleep, we don't have enough energy. This may mean that you don't play as hard at recess or you don't do any exercise at all. You might take a nap after school, and then that makes it hard to fall asleep again at night. It's a lot harder to pay attention to when you're tired. This can make it hard to follow directions or learn new things. And it doesn't just mean at school either. If you play sports, it's harder to learn new skills and react quick when you're tired. When we don't sleep well, there are some other problems that we don't always notice right away. If you remember back when we talked about nutrition, we talked about how the carb group is energy for your body, right? Because they're made of sugars. When you're tired, your body is going to crave those high glycemic, so those are the high sugar carbs, because it's looking for energy as fast as it can. I think you guys can probably guess, but the foods with the most amount of sugar are the junk foods, like chips, white bread, candy, and sugary beverages. Being tired also makes you more stressed. This means maybe you fight with friends or family or cry over things that usually don't make you upset. Being tired also means that you might get sick more often, which is going to keep you from hanging out with your friends, playing outside, or doing other things that you like. So let's switch gears and talk about some things that can help you get the best sleep. So after a busy day, it's important that you tell your brain it's time to relax and get ready to rest. In order to do this, you have to wind down for bed. So there are 3 important pieces to winding down. That means turning off all screens at least 30 minutes before bed. So that's phones, tablets, computers, TVs, and video games. The lights from these screens, if you've ever heard the term blue light, actually signals your brain that it's time to wake up. So some other things you can do instead of screen time are reading a book, hanging out with your family, drawing or writing, or listening to music. The second thing that's part of winding down is relaxing for at least 30 minutes by dimming the lights in the room that you're in. That could be the living room or your bedroom or a family room or the kitchen. The last thing as part of a wind down plan is getting ready for bed. This can mean many different things. Maybe it means taking a shower, picking out your PJs, or picking out your clothes and packing your bag for the next day. The other important piece to making sure you get a good night's rest is setting up your sleep space so that it's relaxing. When you think of things that are usually in a sleep space, what do you think of? I think of a bed with pillows and cozy blankets, a nightstand, dresser, windows, lamps, a rug, and maybe a chair. I've also heard kids say computers, TV, toys, a fan, or books. So there are some do's and don'ts for sleep spaces. First, a sleep space is for sleeping, so try to remove TVs, computers, and extra toys. If you want to read in your room, try to read on the floor or in a chair. The more you train your brain that the bed is for sleeping, the easier it will be to fall asleep quickly. 2, Make sure to turn off the lights and have curtains or a blanket that can cover the windows and block out any sun. If it's dark in your room, it signals your brain that it's time to shut down. A small nightlight is okay if you don't want your room completely dark. 3. Close the door if possible to make it quiet. Some people find it easier to fall asleep with a fan or a white noise machine or rain sounds. Get rid of as many distractions as you can. Sometimes you might share a room with a brother or sister, which can make that kind of hard, but try to pick out your clothes for the next day, pick up any toys or clutter that's on the floor, and it will help your brain relax. 5. Pick out loose-fitting PJs and make sure that you're not too hot or too cold. You sleep best in a room that's cooler. And 6. The last thing is try not to eat a large meal before bed. Your stomach will be working on trying to digest all that food, and it will make it harder to fall asleep. A small snack before bed is okay if you're really hungry. So now that you know what helps with a good night's sleep, I challenge you guys to use as many of these tips as you can and see how many nights this week you can get 9, 10, or even 11 hours of sleep. We'll see you next week.